first place. So if we don't get to the source of that and change that, then we can do acupuncture, but it's not going to be long lasting. So we do use a number of different things.
Okay, so basically you're looking at each person individually and what their demands are in their life also.
That's correct.
Instead of just that specific spot in their body.
Well, and that's the difference between acupuncture or Chinese medicine and Western medicine, is that, yes, if you come to me with insomnia, for example, there are probably a half a dozen different reasons that you may have insomnia, and your symptoms accompanying the insomnia may be very different from somebody else. For example, you may wake up, you may get to sleep well, but then you may wake up in the middle of the night and kind of toss and turn and not be able to get back to sleep. Somebody else may come in and say, you know what, I can't get to sleep and I don't sleep all night. And what they have going on in their lives is very different from kind of what's happening for you. And so I would have to treat you and that person very differently. And the underlying cause is very likely different. So yes, every person is treated individually. It's not just, let's do this one treatment for insomnia.
Yes.
So it is very different than Western medicine.
Because we know how important sleep is, and you have to get into that realm of sleep.
It's huge. It's huge. We heal. We rejuvenate while we sleep. So absolutely, sleep is crucial.
Yeah, and we're finding out that the majority of reasons that people are having a lot of symptoms is because they aren't getting into that deep sleep, the REM sleep.
Yep.
So that's kind of a snowball effect, how you start with that, and then things keep getting worse and worse and worse.
True.
Could you explain to our viewers what is involved in a treatment?
Sure. If you go to an acupuncturist, one of the first things that they're going to do is spend a lot of time talking with you, not only about what brought you to the practitioner, but also your lifestyle, your general health, what you eat, how you sleep, all of those things. So we would spend a lot of time first talking, and from that, develop a diagnosis. And once we know what's going on or kind of the underlying cause of, what brought you there, then we can move on to a treatment. And in a treatment, what we do is have you lay on a very comfortable table. It's very warm, and there's nice music going on. And the practitioner would insert the needles. They would come up with a needle prescription for you and insert the needles, and then let you lay there and rest with the needles for about 20 or 30 minutes. And the lights are turned down, and it's actually very relaxing. I know people would think that once you have needles in, it's very tense and not relaxing at all, but more often than not, I'll come back in the room and people are asleep. Sometimes they're snoring. So it's very relaxing. You rest with the needles, and then after, as I said, about 20 or 30 minutes, the practitioner would come back in, remove the needles, and then the treatment would be over. Unless we were treating something like a pain condition, and then we might do a little bit of Chinese body work or talk a little bit more about diet, lifestyle, that sort of thing, or even talk through an herbal prescription.
Right.
So.
Well, you talk a lot about needles, and I know I'm scared of needles.
You're not the only person.
Yeah, you think of a needle, and my first thought goes to getting a shot. Growing up and having to have shots.
That is so common. We come across so many people that are think acupuncture is a great idea except for the needles.
Right.
And I would have to say that anybody who has ever had acupuncture would not describe it as painful. First of all, the needles are hair thin. They're not hollow because we don't have to give you a shot with them, and we don't take blood or anything. So they can be a really fine gauge. And then they come in a little plastic tube, which is put against your skin, and then the needle is actually tapped through the surface of your skin. So it goes in very quickly. And so it's, if there's any sensation at all, it generally is not painful. In fact, I treat a number of kids or, teenagers who come in and they're like, they want nothing to do with it. But once I put the first needle in, their reaction is usually, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're almost disappointed that it was not painful.
Right. Well, that was going to be my next question, of course, is,
Right.
you
Is
know,
it painful?
Is it painful?
Not particularly.
Hi, remember when I asked Lynn if it hurts? Well, we decided to come in and have a treatment. So here we are in Lynn's office, and I am going to have a treatment done. So stay
I'm going to have
tuned.
you get comfortable.
Okay, thank you.
Just lay up here. And let's adjust this so you're
Thank you.
great. Okay. So before I start, I want to talk a little bit about the needles. I know that the first time I had acupuncture, I was curious as to where the needles came from and what they actually do with it. So I'm going to tell you, and I'll hold them up so you can see them. The needles come in a pre-sterilized packet, and they're individually wrapped most of the time. And they come, I'm not going to put one in yet,
Okay.
but they come in a plastic tube, which is kind of a hard plastic tube.
Okay.
So I don't touch the shaft of the needle. It stays sterile.
Okay.
And what happens is, you can see how tiny that needle is,
Sure.
but what will happen is I'll place the tube against you
Mm-hmm.
and then just tap the needle in,
Okay.
okay? And then the needle will stay there and I'll let you relax. And then when I take the needles out, they go into the sharps container. They are never used more than once.
Great. Good to
Okay.
know. And you can show that to our camera.
Okay.
There we are.
Here are the needles, and you can see how tiny that is. They're very bendy little things. So, right there that is. So before I start,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to just disinfect the spots where I'm going to place needles.
Okay. I've never had acupuncture done.
Well, that's good. This will be a great first treatment.
Okay.
I'm going to do one there,
Okay, thank you.
and I'm going to actually have you relax your legs. Good. There. 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 Good.
You never think of, having your legs done.
Well,
That's
this
pretty-
is acupuncture.
Yes, it's great.
It's all over. Okay, so start with the first one. Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
How's that feel?
Perfect.
Is that okay? Not painful?
Not at all.
Okay,
It's very
good. You may feel a little bit more. Do you feel that?
Yes, that one was a little more.
Just kind of a distending sensation. It's, I don't know, would you describe it as painful?
No, not at all.
Okay. Then, go ahead, you can just relax.
Okay.
I'll place one here.
Felt that one a little more.
Did you?
Mhm.
Okay. What did you feel? Is it kind of grabbing the needle a little bit?
You could feel that the body was reacting to it a little bit more than the other two that you've
Right.
done.
Would you describe it as painful?
No, just a different sensation,
Uh-huh.
Okay. I guess when I think of pain, I want to run away from it,
Mm-hmm.
and in my mindset, but it's very tolerable,
Good.
and yeah, that's
Good.
hardly anything.
Are you doing okay?
I'm doing perfect, thank
Okay.
you, yes.
Good. Now we're going to do a couple in your legs.
Okay.
You can just relax.
Okay.
And same with this side. Go ahead and just relax. Good. It's supposed to be relaxing.
Mm.